What's clapping, everybody? Welcome to Anime Intervention. I am your host, BMG, here with my co-host, Clean Bean. What's clapping, dog? Well, you gotta redo that. Let's do that
Wait,
again.
wait, wait.
Yeah, that's better. That's what's
Yeah,
up.
there we go. There we go.
We are here today to talk about My Hero. This is the My Hero episode that we've been wanting to do for a while now, ever since we finished. You finished it. I just recently finished My Hero, and I think we need to have a conversation. I know that I won't say we're a little late to the game, but let's be real here. There's never a later time. There's never an earlier time. And there is always a right time to talk about My Hero. And seeing how My Hero has been like the crux of anime coming into the 2016, 2017, I think it's 2016, 2017 era, right? 2016 it started, I believe.
2015
It might have been
or
2015
16
actually.
ish.
Yeah, 2015. Yeah. So right around that time frame, it was kind of not really carrying the anime game. It really wasn't. But what I mean by that is it was like introducing more like a new level of um, a new and different type of anime that hit at different peaks because it was involving so many different characters and everything. But that's why I think it's important to have that conversation. It's is it really a great anime? Did it stick the landing the way it should have with the ending of the show? Did it piece everything together and do what it needed to do? I'm going to ask you that before we go into a retrospective. Did it do what it needed to do?
It did its jobs. It stuck the landing, in my opinion, because you ended up fulfilling both the objective of what One for All is for and what it was meant to do. Then you also fulfilled the objective of the main character's wishes. You got to see, even though he got back to the point where, well, spoiler, but he got back to the point where he was quote unquote quirkless, but like you had the
We're
embers.
spoiling it anyway, so it doesn't really matter what you say. There's no spoiler alert here. If you're here to watch this episode, you have watched My Hero. There's no way you're here watching. We're not doing those little pre reviews. This is not this is kind of a review, but we're not doing a pre review where we get to give it a number and then there's like a spoiler section. No, we're going straight in here. Bro is quirkless again. Continue.
I would say that he's quirkless again, and most importantly, like he still has that drive within him, and he still had those embers of wanting to be a hero. And we got to see towards the end, like everyone coming back and
Coming together.
as an adult, as pro heroes, as those that were doing other things, or maybe what was it like? I remember Creaty was, I think she was doing like research or like a lecturing such and such. Like, but you got to see the different career paths and what they did in their advertisements.
Mhm.
Then out of nowhere, they're like, "Yo, let's get Midoriya back in the field.
Lock in. Let's get Midoriya back.
Let's get him back in the field." Everyone pulls up and stops what they're doing. Like, "Yo, pull up, man.
It's true. Hey, pull up, bro.
Grab my hand."
You're always one of us. Just come on, let's go. You know, I yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. There are many moments in this series where I have teared up. I was close to tearing up majority of the last part of the season, like the ending season. I was like, wow, these are some banger moments. But even like in the earlier seasons, I was like, oh, some of them. I'm like, all right, season 6 was hitting, season 7 was hitting. They hit in ways I didn't even expect. But we're gonna get into that. But
Yes.
continuing on, and you think it stuck the landing. I also agree. I think it stuck the landing. I think My Hero did its job in terms of defining what it is as an anime in the genre and in the space. Because, well, first of all, the name of it's My Hero, right? Come on now, it's My Hero. But
Mhm.
it's like, what does it mean to be a hero? You know what I mean? Like, what does it mean to you, and what does it mean in general? Like, you get to see all these different levels of hero society, and what people have for motivation to be a hero, and why they're doing what they do. But Midoriya is who you follow throughout the entirety of it because he is supposed to be the epitome of a true hero, right? I mean, let's be real here. He didn't have any quirks, and he went to save somebody. That's the whole reason why All Might, All Might chose him in the first place. Am I right?
No, 100%. Being able to put yourself, your life on the line and care about others before your own safety. That is the essence of a true hero. That's the whole point when we think about your first responders, your firefighters, your police officers, your EMTs, those that put their lives on the line almost every single day for random strangers to be like, hey yo, let me help you out. They do their job.
Selfless.
You got to be selfless.
Truly selfless.
You have to be truly selfless in order for you to um be able to deal with also the public scrutiny that comes with it. And that's another thing I want to like mention because that
Yeah,
in
we'll get to that.
itself
We'll get to that.
is part of the key.
It's part of it. It's a part of this whole thing. Like there's so many different layers that happen within the show that I feel like it needs to be highlighted. Like every single one of them needs to be highlighted. Honestly, I kind of wish I had all those layers down. I have key points written down, but like I feel I could just I'm thinking about it right now. I'm like, yo, there are layers to this. There's an onion. This is a yo, Shrek is peeling back the onions, bro. Like that's literally that's
What?
literally what he's peeling back the layers. Because it got layers. That's basically what the show is. It's got mad layers. And there might be people that say, maybe My Hero is doing too much because of the fact that there are so many layers. Maybe because it's covering all these different topics that it's not really it's losing its identity. No, I don't think so. I think, and this is like we can bring it back to the conversation about like how we talked about Superman.
We did talk about Superman. Hold on, I'm just writing out. Oh yeah,
Yeah, no,
go
we
ahead.
talked about Superman and how he was dealing with well, the movie itself was dealing with a bit of controversy because of everything that was going on in the movie. By the end of the movie, there was this war that was happening that's off U.S. soil, and that he's not really supposed to give a crap because he's supposed to be, the hero of America and nowhere else, kind of thing. You know what I mean? But Metropolis, yeah, right. Like he's supposed to be only their hero, but he's supposed to be the hero of the world. Is he allowed to meddle in wars, or is he allowed to be there for the safety of the innocent? And I feel like that's part of being a hero. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's covering. It does touch upon some sensitive topics where it's covering things in those gray lines. But why are you not able to cover it? Because hero, what is a hero supposed to be? You're supposed to protect the innocent, but you're supposed to put yourself. You're supposed to put yourself in harm's way. You don't have to, but if you need to put yourself in harm's way to save somebody, you will do it. There's nothing that will stop you from doing it. So why should it matter whether or not it's a war in the Middle East, or if it's a war in China, or if it's a war on our own soil? It shouldn't matter. You're there to save people. You're there to be a hero.
You got my attention.
They're like,
You got my attention.
what are we talking
You
about?
have
Like,
my
come on,
attention.
you know?
Oh, you're right. I feel like people have to realize that within the systems that we have in place when it comes to people that are in positions to save others' lives, and there's a lot of times where we have some corruption,
Mm.
we have some instability, some inconsistencies, and also just a disconnect between them and society, and that includes us as citizens. That happens in real life.
It
Like
does.
as much as we see this in the hero agency, we also see this in real life where you have that public distrust where you're like, oh well, I'm not like you. I don't have the necessary weapons to go ahead and protect myself. So what happens if I have to rely solely on you? And then you also see even as the show starts to progress, people start taking off arms because they're like, the heroes aren't going to protect us. Look at what happens. Our whole city got ravaged. These are the themes in this series that I was like, yo, you did a good job. That's an S tier right there.
Peak,
That's an S tier.
peak, peak. Well,
Let's get into it, man.
let's get into it. Let's do we'll do a little bit of a retrospective here because I want to take it back all the way to it was 2015, right? All the way back to the beginning, right? We start off with season one, and season one, to be fair, it was a banger, but for more reasons than one, right? Because we were introduced to Midoriya, yes, but we were also introduced to other characters, other students that were trying to get into UA, and when they do, they end up being a part of Class 1A, right? And that's obviously like that's the best class. So it's like the best one you could even be in. There's 1A, 1B, and 1C, and then I think there was other classes too. I'm not too sure, but those are like the
There
main.
was a C.
Yeah, wasn't there a C class?
There was a C class.
There wasn't no C class. You don't remember the C class? Yeah, like C class. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a C class. Hold on, let me look this up
There's a
because
sequel.
I know for I feel like I remember there being a C class. I ain't gonna lie to you. How many?
I mean, I know there's a 2A, which I'm assuming there will be a 2B. I have no idea. Most likely.
Two hero course classes per year. Oh, I guess you're right. 1A, 1B. But students are separated in departments. Typically 3 grades, which makes sense, and 20 students per class, but the departments and classes were labeled A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, and J, and K for the class labels. So,
Uh,
oh, you know what it was? You know what it was? I thought that the characters that were part of the support group
uh,
were part of the the C class. So the correction, there is no one C. It's just people. It's just people
yeah,
in a support field. I get it.
because you
Okay,
got that
cool.
support
Yeah,
field, you got the
there
business,
was the
and then
business
general
one.
studies.
Then there was, I think there was like an engineering one. I don't know, but yeah, but like the 1A and 1B, those are the two really important classes in the beginning, right? So Midoriya had to, well, he had a quirk when All Might gave it to him, yeah, but he wasn't fully developed. There was no way he could bring out all one for all his power. He couldn't. His body was frail. He needed to train, and it felt like he was starting from scratch. Like you get a quirk, it's like trying to learn how to walk. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So in the beginning, the intrigue of the show, it hit different for me because I was like, oh, this is cool because we get to follow a main character who's quirkless, but then gets one. But we also get to follow other characters of these classes. You know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
get to learn and love them. And that I think that's what separated My Hero from a lot of different shows is because it was a lot of different characters that you had to keep up with, but they also had their own time to shine and they were all unique.
Yes, they had their own time to shine. They all they all had their own hero experiences. If we looked at it from damn, like I'm just thinking about how to structure this because now we're skipping around a bit, but like they all had their different experiences when it comes to doing hero work, and especially based off their own development as a child as well. Like we saw like
Mm.
with shoot, is it Choji? Sorry, Shoji,
Yeah, yeah.
the yeah
The one
tentacle.
tentacle, yeah.
He was working for their rights because of the fact that they were discriminated against the entire
And
time.
the crazy part is, I did not even know. Well, up until that point, you don't really know, like, oh, you knew he was different because, yeah, he looks different, but you just thought that was a part of, like, like that's just a part, that's who he is. You know what I mean? Like, they have quirks, so why would it be surprising? This girl looks like an alien. Why would it be surprising to see this guy? You know what I'm saying?
Like, come on now. We have someone with like the head of a spray bottle. I don't want to hear no. Like
Like that,
at this point, you're gonna be a spray bottle. And I'm just gonna be like, all right, what's good, bro?
bro, is
Hey, what's up?
Windex. That ass Windex. He's some fuck bleach. Oh man.
Oh shit.
Um, but the key points of that first season was Midoriya getting that quirk, and it was All Might, yeah, basically choosing him and doing more. It was more than just choice. It was more so realizing Midoriya's potential to be a hero because of what he did in his selfless action, right? But that moved into other portions, right? It was there was the fight between Deku and I think was it Bakugo in the beginning.
That happened around like season.
No, I'm not talking about the one they fight again later on. I'm talking about when
Oh,
they had
yeah,
the, yeah,
the training.
the
Yeah,
training, because they were training and they had that fight. So that was a big fight. Deku plus, not to mention, it kind of circled back and looked at their past and the fact that they had a relationship together, and Bakugo would practically bully him. But we know that there's like obviously layers to that bullying. But that in and of itself set the groundwork for like the, I guess, the rest of the story, because you see how important their relationship is moving on to even to the final fight, even after the fight.
yeah.
Like, their friendship is important. So, now that I think about it, let me ask you this: did you dislike Bakugo in the beginning?
I mean, I think we all kind of disliked him in the beginning. However, I would say we already knew what facade he was trying to play. We knew the facade of, hey, let's go ahead and try to act tough or like I'm the best of the best. Um, his confidence wasn't a facade. Obviously, this man literally thought he could.
Yeah.
beat everyone and everyone
Or
and surpass them.
breathes confidence.
He is literally the epitome of confidence. Um, and the good thing is that actually that he backs it up. He doesn't like consistently fail. He realizes his shortcomings, but he consistently bounces back every time. So
Yeah.
I do give him his props there. I just I just needed him to understand. Like, listen, no, I don't think he hates you or looks down on you. However, that's how he viewed it, and that's
Yeah.
why he was like, you know what? No, I just need to keep on pushing you away. And he said every single time since before when they were kids, he's always there to go ahead and help him whenever he falls or slips up. And he's so concerned. He's like, why is this person so concerned about my safety when he is quirkless?
Quirkless.
So he's already looking at it from the lens of like, this guy's just bugging me, man. I'm good, I'm fine. But then when you end up in a worse situation, you end up almost dying. Who is right there by your side almost every single time? Your boy,
Your boy Deku.
your boy. So he definitely had a good emotional turning point.
Oh, absolutely.
One
Well,
hundred
we'll
percent.
get into that turning point once we get there, but we move from that fight. That there's the attack that happens, right? League of Villains gets involved. That is the first season. I had to actually look back. I was like, oh, it really was like the end of the first season. When they were in school, that attack actually happened, and the League of Villains first gets introduced, and Shigaraki first gets introduced. It's literally in the beginning. Like it's not as if, oh, everything's going fine, and then his villains here and there, whatever, and then all of a sudden it's season two, and then Shigaraki shows up season two. No, no, I didn't realize. I was like, yo, damn, it really was quick
From
from the
towards
get
the
go, and
end.
you were on from at that time. All Might had to remember the All Might with the Nomu.
Mhm.
All Might fought the Nomu, and then I think that was the same time as remember Gang Orca, and he was there and he was doing his thing with the fights. There was
Right.
a lot of different. Was that that's still season one?
Is it about Gang Orca? When did he come? I don't think because we had remember we had that USJ, for when there's certain disasters, and that was Hero 13 pulling up. You had her, and you had All Might pulling up, and then you had Azawa, right?
Oh wait, so Gang Orca wasn't there?
I don't think he was there.
So where does he show up?
Was he there? Or maybe no. Maybe he was there. Maybe he was. No, sorry, he was there. I think because wasn't there reinforcements
I thought there
from the
was
teachers?
Yeah, I thought the teacher showed up.
Yeah, the teachers did show up.
Okay.
There was reinforcements. You had him there. You had the gunslinger. You had um what's ectoplasm. You had I don't know if Cemento showed up. I gotta rewatch that, but
Honestly, can't remember if Cemento showed up for that fight. But I just know that fight was, well, when the Nomu, showed up, it was like a big thing. It was like, yo, USJ getting attacked for the first time. It might be the first time ever, honestly. I'm not too sure if there was any other fights happened before then. I'm just talking about like in the history of, UA. Damn, that was a fight. And you get to see the heroes essentially not really like struggle because you get to see how strong they are comparative to the villains that are getting introduced, so it does kind of set the tone. um was there ever a time where you were like not really concerned but like afraid for any of the heroes that were fighting, like that you thought they were gonna die or that they were gonna get, because My Hero had the tone was a little positive, right? It was on the positive side of things. Obviously the villain showed up, but it seemed like it was going to be like a positive type of show where, yeah, people are going to get beat up here and there, but nothing's actually going to happen. Like they're not going to actually die or anything. Like it's just gonna they're gonna get hurt and potentially win after breaking the mold.
I mean from season one, yeah. But then we got to season two, and I was like,
Yeah.
we have potential for people to die right now.
Yeah,
We
yo,
have
facts.
potential for people to die. Um, yeah, season one definitely was the introduction where you realize like, oh, death was almost there for you to be touched. Like you almost could have died, and I feel like
Absolutely.
they realized that quick brush of death kind of put them ahead of the class. They said that too with 1A and 1B. The only thing that was different was 1B was focusing a little more on experience, technical skills, and professionalism, and 1A was lacking in that. In my opinion, was lacking in those technical skills. They had the talent, They had the
Hmm.
experience, but they were just lacking on okay professionalism, keeping your emotions in check, making sure that you're able to assess the situation before things go awry. And we see that being displayed in season two when we get to, we got the whole tournament arc. That was phenomenal.
The sports festival tournament arc was kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you, because well, we got to see and fall in love with characters that we didn't really think we'd fall in love with. Like we got to see Todoroki show off and do everything that he needed to do. First of all, he's hot and cold. Like, come on, bro. That's a cold ass quirk.
That's
No pun intended, but
no
it's
pun
cold.
intended. That's
That goes
cool.
hard.
I go.
It's a cold quirk. And just seeing that in the first time I saw it, I was like, yo, if you could do that, it reminded me of like one of the superpowers that I wanted to have when I was young. You either want to be Iceman from freaking X-Men,
Yes.
or be whatever his name is, I forgot it. Either the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four. You combine those two
Yes.
and you put them together, you get Todoroki. I was like, yo, this guy has the quirk that everybody wants to have right now. So he was oozing coolness. But in addition to that, you get introduced to his struggle with his family, and that opened up so many doors, because now you're not just really interested in Midoriya and everything that he's going through with this whole quirk stuff. You're also interested, and Bakugo. You're also interested in Todoroki and everything that he's going through. And a good percentage of the story for the rest of the show involves Todoroki. Like people don't even realize it until you start seeing it. You're like, oh,
Mhm.
your brother, bro. Your other brother, bro.
Ah, ah,
Your dad's abuse. Like, oh, this was
ah.
a yo. I was like, yo, that's crazy.
Oh wait, hold on. Before any of y'all come at us for the comments, we are not saying Iceman and Human Torch will, they'll get swamped or get clapped by your boy Todoroki.
Oh, like fighting?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no, no, we're
Let's
not.
let's clear that real quick,
No, we're
okay?
not doing that.
Do not make that assumption,
We're not
please.
doing that, guys. We we
Do
we
not
not
make
we
that
not.
assumption.
No, no, no. Because first of all, that's a cross of universes. That's already a cross of universes between the Human Torch and no, not the same. But like,
No,
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 we're not doing that. No, no,
we
no,
not doing
no.
that.
We're gonna keep that separate. Um, the reason why I the reason why I wanted to do this retrospective is because of the fact that I did not watch My Hero over again since I started it. There are people who went back and they rewatched it. I didn't actually rewatch it. I what I did was I was watching it as it was coming out season by season, and then when we got to about season four ish, I took a break, let season five come out, and then after season five finished and season six was about to start, that's when I got back on the train. So I didn't do what you did, which is what you did recently, which was you went back in the beginning and you rewatched everything. That's why you have like a sort of a different perspective. Um, being said that though, being told that, do you think that it would have been different if you did what I did and you didn't binge through everything all at once after rewatching it? Do you think that you would have I don't want to say like a lesser experience or a worse experience with that?
I don't really think it matters in my opinion, as long as you if you remember what happens, it's still gonna stay within your mind, and you're still gonna have that same exact impact, in my opinion. But
Mhm.
obviously, I feel like if you watch it all the way through, you'll definitely get that emotional impact if you enjoy it. If you
Mm.
enjoy it, you'll get that emotional impact. You're like, yo, wow, we really went from just your boy, you know, using the book and jotting down every hero name and doing sketches and
Which I
having
love too. That's cool.
that was I enjoyed that because you literally saw how much he enjoyed quirks in general.
And just heroes in general.
Yes.
You know, that was a different type of love. Like finding that, it's like the equivalent of seeing somebody who's really, really, really into something like anime, for example. If like you are really passionate about anime, you'll know a lot of stuff, or you either just watch a lot of anime. You could be passionate about writing books and you end up writing a book. Like stuff like that. When you see somebody who's really passionate, they tend to be in their element. So it's easier for them to sort of, I won't say like integrate, but like anything related to whatever they're trying to take notes on or whatever they're doing, it's easier for them to consume. So Midoriya, it's like taking all that and putting him into the hero category. He has information on everybody's quirks. So what does that mean? He could literally, in his mind, choose which quirks are better for which situation, depending on what fight it is,
Exactly.
and be like a mastermind. Be like, he could be like one of those guys that looks down on the battlefield and he's like, all right, I
Yes.
already know I know all these quirks. I know what they do and what their weaknesses are. Where am I going to put them? And he could just move them like chess pieces on a board.
That's what he was doing in season 3 at the summer camp.
Exactly.
That's literally what he was doing when they were trying to rescue Bakugo when he got taken.
Mm-hmm.
They had Shoto, they had um Tentacle, they had let me see, Uchako, and they had Suyu.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say Asui. Yeah, but like you had all of them, and wait, Dark Shadow too. Yeah,
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 Dark Shadow was there. Yeah.
yeah, Togeyami was there. So you had all of them, and he knew exactly what we're gonna utilize each quirk for, and doing it on the spot like that to go ahead and save a friend. That's what I'm talking about when I say this guy has intelligence and also that inspirational factor that makes him one of the best heroes in this society.
One of the most dangerous too. Sheesh.
One of the most dangerous. Um, I definitely feel like that was the perfect development because we realized that from the jump, from like the beginning, and it culminated in action when we're dealing with a crisis situation, when we gotta rescue people, when we have to fight villains.
Because they got to get Bakugo back, and that's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what
Well,
happened.
I mean, to be fair, there was some hiccups in the process. That was honestly a really scary. And we're moving to season 3, sure, but that was a really scary moment for me watching the show because I was worried that two things. I was worried that one of the kids were going to die and it was going to be too soon. I was like, no, please don't, because these kids, they have so much potential. And then the second thing, I was worried that All Might was going to die. Now, because that fight, was All Might versus All for One,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a pretty cool fight. But I was scared because you were already introduced to All Might's weakness from the prior season, right? Or I think it might have been is it the end of season 1 that you found out, or in the midst of season 1? But you already aware of that as a watcher, as a viewer, and once you're seeing this in season 3, and it's like literally basically it was like the end of season 3, right? You're getting to the point where you're wondering whether or not All Might is just going to be that Jiraiya for Midoriya. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Be that death that is going to lead to character development. And I was scared for that through the entire show. Let me ask you this though. Do you think that All Might should have died? Do you think that his death would have made things any better? Not any better, but like, would that have assisted in character development of Midoriya or anybody else at all?
Mm.
Because he's a figure. He's inspiring. He's probably the most inspiring hero of all time.
Mm. Um, it's kind of hard to say because at the same time, like he is a symbol of peace, but there's also there's other heroes that probably wouldn't give up, but most likely, I'm thinking about he needed him by his side.
Mm.
Deku needed All Might by his side when it comes to being able to pursue his Hero Academia dream. So there was no way that he was going to do it alone, especially when I saw that he wasn't prepared for this.
No,
Prepared to lose someone, prepared to, deal with that loss. And you have a lot of them that weren't prepared for that too. Like, no, we're jumping around, but like I'll give you an example, like Midnight when she died.
sure, I wasn't prepared for that.
I was prepared for that shit. So like if I'm not, I know for sure they ain't because they never dealt with that death happening like in front of their well not in front of their eyes, but just where when they're together and they're trying to like go for a common goal and you're like, no, she's not gonna die. We're gonna laugh like it is, chop it up like it's nothing. And then you just see shit. So
Midnight did not make it.
yeah, she
I mean,
definitely
she wasn't the only one, but damn, they got destroyed.
absolutely destroyed.
Goodness Lord,
Um
I felt bad, but I see what you're saying
regardless.
though. I see what you're saying though. Like the death. You think that All Might would be his 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 death wouldn't really assist in any way, shape, or form because he would have been needed to help Deku further along his career. Like not just his career, but moving forward, Deku might not have been able to handle the death of All Might if it were to happen. What I will say is, we find out later on that All for One well, One for All is a mix of a plethora of different people, right? It's gone through different hands and exchanged hands, and All Might just happens to be the so recent one that gave it to Deku. So if All Might were to die, he would just end up being one of the ghosts, supposed ghosts that would be introduced to Deku's lineup of supporters. But Deku wasn't able to basically reach and talk to them until way later on. So maybe that death for All Might wouldn't have been great for that moment. If he were to die, it will probably be better off later on when he's fighting All for One again, in his, which I thought was pretty cool, his iron suit.
Yeah, you needed him in a lot of different scenarios, and especially I feel like each little pep talk or each little um im- impactful conversation that they've had has driven him to deal with these certain battles and kind of find the best situation possible to make the best out of it. Like we see even in season 2 when he was saying, "Yo, introduce yourself to the world and let them know that I am here." We had a very well determined, driven Midoriya trying
Oh,
to win the
definitely.
tournament, and then we also even with Hosu when it came to Stain, he tried to analyze the situation, making sure that hey, I want to save my friend, even though we see that Ida is literally consumed by rage and vengeance. We're gonna make sure that he does the right thing. Shit hit
Ida
the
was
vent.
flying.
Absolutely
Bro
flying.
was flying that time. And that's, oh, I think Stain was introduced around season two. Now I think about it, because
Yeah.
it was during, okay. So, and we're going to talk about Stain in a second, but, um, we'll talk about Stain right now. His introduction was, I won't say it was like a surprise for me, because I was expecting more villains to show up. Let's be real. I wasn't expecting Shigaraki to be the only villain because it's my hero. There's got to be other villains around. That's like saying, Spider-Man doesn't have, his only villain is Green Goblin. Like,
Hmm.
nah, come on now, because any good hero will have a plethora of villains to fight. So Stain showed up. Stain, to me, is probably the best villain of the show. Um, and you said this yourself as well, but it's the message that he brought to the table. It's the fact that he was sort of like the epitome of exposure for hypocrisy throughout the entirety of the hero society. That in and of itself is a big enough message to where I'd argue he is the best and most justified villain. Obviously, he's not the strongest villain, but I don't think that strength is needed to propose something that is almost groundbreaking, yet still being a villain. I mean, you can call him an anti-hero because that's
Hmm.
realistic. You can call him an anti-hero instead of a villain, because he was less of a villain and more of an anti-hero. I mean,
But
his tongue though.
yeah, I'm
I'm a
not
little.
gonna lie to you. He kind of villainous for
I ain't gonna lie to you. His
that.
tongue is kind of villainous. It ain't
Yeah,
just a little bit creepy there,
just
buddy. But
yeah,
besides that, I feel like he's anti-hero. And even his quirk was like, yo, that's kind of villainous, bro. You just licking people's blood up. Chill. You know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying?
He got
You
chill.
know, sure. But Um, but yeah, no, I think, and I don't know if you agree with me here, but what is your opinion on Stain?
I mean, 100%. He's the most justified. Everyone else, in my opinion, was more of the considered to be hurt and damaged goods, as expected. But we also have a lot of them that their deeds just outweighed their sorrow. Like, I'm
True
sorry,
shit.
but okay, I get it. Your dad abused you, Sugar. I get it. I understand you literally killed the family dog. You turned that into a jigsaw puzzle, but like, damn, I need you. I need you to not murk the whole entire city like it's nothing, dog.
Yo, yo, like chill. Like, what are we talking about? Bro destroyed the dog. It was really like,
Murk the
you know
whole
what? Let me
family.
just destroy my entire family. like I get it, but like, still,
Oh,
bro,
what the dog do though?
bro.
What the dog do?
The dog was just trying to comfort you, brother. He's
God,
just trying to comfort you.
God damn.
Yeah, that was a serious moment for me, and I don't think we see that backstory until it was like way later on. It's like, was it season five? No, I think or was it season six?
It was like five
I
or
think it might have been
six.
five or six. You see that background, um, but yeah, no, Shigaraki, yeah. When you compare All Might, I mean All Might, you compare Stain to Shigaraki and the fact that they do have, convictions that can be, I won't say they're parallel convictions, but they do have similarities here and there. But obviously, Stains is the one that's probably the most um, realistic in terms of what we would approach as society. Like if Stain is speaking truth about the hypocrisy, then society has to be reformed in some way, shape, or form. Hero society, and that
Yes.
does get introduced later on in the show, like way at the end in the epilogue, where Hawks is he's part of this committee, and they're trying to basically improve the hero society in the ways of you know the way Stain kind of wanted it to be improved, which I
Yes.
think is important.
It is very important because you start to teach a lesson of not only just having heroes out there for fame and money, and also allowing the common people to also be heroes or talk to someone and reach out when they're in a crisis situation, when they feel like their world is falling apart and no one's there to listen. They're just like, oh, the heroes will take care of it. But what, the heroes got too much on their plate? What, the heroes are out here manipulating it and just want to get some money, and then when shit hits the fan, they're like, I'm gonna retire. I'm just saying, what if they get exploited? What if they're part of the liberation army eventually, and they're just like, you know what, we have no order? That's another thing. I just started to realize, I was like, yo, listen, I need you to understand, you guys can have a structure and a system. That system has to be reformed from within. There's no way you are going to make headway by just screaming and saying, "Oh, yo, this society needs to change." It inspires others people, but we got like we see from before. We have with Stain, but you have your admirers, you have your people that will pick up that book and read it and probably hate Hero Society. But the only way shit was going to happen is if someone got into the position, made internal changes from within. Like, come on.
No, no, you're right. You're right. I think that change is very important, and that's we're gonna talk about why it is so, because of the fact that the well, season three, when season three ended, All Might basically retired, right? He was done. That was his last. You could argue, relatively, I think that is his last ember of whatever was left of his powers. And now Deku's supposed to be. He gets not everything, but he basically retrieves the burden of being that beacon of hope. And he's not that beacon of hope yet. He has a lot to live up to, because All Might Beacon is huge. But that's the turning point of the entire show. Do you think that All Might, his retiring, his retirement, do you think that kind of made the show hard to watch? Like after the fact, like, without All Might, the show's not gonna be great. All right.
No, I didn't. It's That's not the case. I feel like obviously after that season we went into season 4, and there was sort of not a drop off, but just it wasn't as exciting as the other seasons in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
because of the fact
Correct.
that, I mean, shoot, like you had the League of Villains like kind of like hidden a little bit. So the climax, it went to its climax, and then it, went back down.
Yeah, it was hitting. It was a lull. It was like a little bit
Yeah,
of
it was like
a lull. Like you're
little.
hitting the valley, and you're gonna go back up soon. But it's one of those low points in this series where you're waiting to see what will happen next, and nothing really happens for a good amount of episodes, not
And
until later on.
yeah, not until later
Because
on
the
when
festival,
we,
it was the festival.
yeah, that was a school festival, but
Yeah.
also before that was, obviously with the Yakuza, Chisaki,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
then so like we got to a hump. It's just that it wasn't like, okay, excessive. It was definitely someone that definitely needed to get brought down because of the fact that it introduces Eri.
Hmm.
Eri ends up actually being a key piece within this series, especially towards the end. So,
Very true.
um,
Yeah, but believe it or not, yeah, very true. Without Eri, low key, I don't know if anything, it probably would have died.
Eri is your savior.
Yo, Eri is just saving. Oh, well, to be fair, Eri and Bakugo.
Yeah,
But
Eri and
but
Bakugo.
but yeah, yeah, yeah. Continue.
Um, because right then and there, I feel like they also had a professional experience when it comes to Hero. I feel like that was one of their first professional experiences
Hmm.
because of the fact that you have a group operation. You also have what is it? Was that his Hero study? Was the first one? No. First one was with Gran Torino, but then
Hmm.
this one was with Hawk Night Eye,
Yeah, Night Eye. Yeah.
and then you're coming in, and now you're
R.I.P. your
seeing
boy.
yeah, RB my boy. Then couldn't see his own feature.
Could not see his own
Couldn't
feature.
see his own
Bro
feature.
got clapped. And I feel bad too because I'm like, and it almost made me think it was like, damn, is this the show getting rid of the one solution to every single problem for the rest of the show? You know what I'm saying? Like Night Eye is gone, so now they can't predict nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I see the vision. Now that he's gone, you have no way of knowing, but still, that was my boy, you know?
Yeah, that was crazy. But I guess they did it that way because like, hey, you know what? You might as well not predict anything. Like you, I'd rather have it that way where it's random.
I do prefer it that way as well. I feel like, having the predictions kind of cop you out of a lot of the story beats. Yeah, it's kind of like like a waste, but definitely kind of just deletes all the potential of the show.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
And even during that school festival, that's when I think we're first introduced to the big three and Mirio and and
No, was before that, since they were also in the operation.
no, so that's
Oh, that
season
season. Yeah,
four.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that
that's season
season.
four.
Yeah,
I
they
think it
got
was that
introduced.
during that season that we were introduced to them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
I,
it's
is
funny
it
when
that season?
yeah, I think it is that season, right?
I think it's the end of
Or is it
season
the end of season
3.
three?
I think it's the end of season 3
It could be the end of season
because
three.
that's when he fought. That's when he fought all of them at once. Mirio.
Oh, right, right. You're right. Oh, snap. Maybe that is the end of season three.
I think that is the end of season 3.
Damn, I
Yeah.
didn't even think about it. The only thing I remember from Mirio is him looking like Lucas.
This dude looks straight like Lucas from Smash Bros.
Bro is Lucas from Smash.
Exactly like him. I'm looking. I'm like,
I'm like, Mirio, what?
why are you, why are you not in here, bro?
You're like, PK Fire!
Send him an envelope right now, Smash. Get him in.
Get him in there. Get him in
Final
Smash.
destination.
Get him in the Smash is crazy. Oh man, that's the first thing I thought. I was like, Lucas.
That's you, bro.
Yeah, that shit was funny. Um, the uh, the fight with Overhaul, um, that's got to be I'd say that's one of the best fights of the series. If I were to, I guess we could rank fights later if we really want to, but the fights that really, really surprised me, obviously the All for One versus the One for All was a cool fight in the beginning. The second time that it happens, also a cool fight. But the Deku versus Overhaul, and obviously he had Eri to help him with that. And then there's the one that happens. I think it's either at the end of season four or is it into season five? End of season five. I don't remember exactly when. You remember when Endeavor had that fight with the Nomu?
Oh yeah, that was end of season 4.
End of season four. That fight, I was like, yo, they stepped up the animation budget. What the heck?
The
Because
animation budget.
the Deku fight was great. No, I was like, but I'm over here seeing like the blisters and I'm seeing everything. I'm seeing like the flame plumes. And Endeavor's over here doing some atmospheric nonsense type stuff. I'm like, yo, what is going on? This bro's in the sky.
Literally overheated himself to the point of exhaustion. I was like, we like that. Nice and toasty.
Nice and toasty is crazy.
Nice toast.
That fight, I have to rewatch that fight because that fight, wow. When I watched it, I think I went and I was like, I forgot, was it you I spoke to or it was somebody? I was like, yo, you need to see this episode because holy hell, it was along the lines of that Sung Jin Woo fight. When you see Sung Jin Woo first fight Baru, you're like,
Mm,
I understand it now.
I understand it.
I get it. Okay, I understand. So, and then there's the fight with the when Bakugo was fighting All for One,
Oh yes, when Bakugo was fighting
which
off,
happens later on.
that
We'll get to that, but that fight as well, I was like,
that was
yo,
that was
what is happening right now? This is crazy. Um, do you Do you agree? Not agree, but do you think that Eri joining the fray and kind of just becoming that centerpiece of a good portion of the show was a good choice on the writer side of things, like being the author, the manga artist, the creator? Um, do you think that Eri was like she was a centerpiece that kind of grounded everything in a way for that point of the season? Do you think that that was worth it? Was a good writing choice?
I mean, I thought it was a decent choice, like just having someone that ends up not being able to control their quirk and then seeing it develop to the point where, hey, now I can get it to you know, a moderate type of solution where I'm able to rewind people's injuries. Like she never really had true control of her quirk, and she always thought it was used for evil, which it was at first. She got exploited, but when she eventually started to realize, like, hey, wait a minute, um, people don't have to suffer because of me, and people are actually genuinely going to reach out and save me. They're like, you know what? Let me go ahead and return the favor. And you have obviously Aizawa in their corner helping her out. We eventually getting to the point where it calls her to spring into action herself and like, hey, yo, send this to my boy. Get him recovered. Send this to my
Get
boy.
them recovered.
But yeah, 100%. I do think it was a good touch, because you got to see that not just, it's not just all the heroes in this fight. It's literally everyone else, including that. That means those on the sidelines watching and trying to inspire the heroes. You saw that if they didn't have that inspiration, if they didn't have that encouragement, they weren't going to win because they got to have a reason why they do what they do.
That's true shit.
Don't get me wrong; they want to protect people, but if people don't feel like they're protected, they'll lash out and they won't encourage those heroes. So what ends up happening is that now you got turmoil, just like how we see later on it with when they try to go house Deku when all shit goes awry
Hmm.
after the whole
Yeah,
shebang happens.
yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get to that, but like we start to see the common just lose faith. The common people lose faith in the heroes, and eventually they don't encourage the heroes
I
anymore.
think
They
what
don't have any
sucks the
strength.
most, sorry for interrupting you, but I think what sucks the most is seeing not just the common people, but also the family members who are the family of the heroes that are in training, seeing them also lose faith and seeing them sort of want to take their kids out of school and they don't want them to be involved at all because they think they're going to die. That for me was, well, it was ingenious. Now, y'all might say, "Oh, what are you talking about?" Like, no, if you really think about it, like throughout the entirety of the story, there are specific key moments where side characters, express their issues that are common sense issues. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, if you're worried about your kid, you don't want them to be in danger. Yeah, okay, they're training to be a hero, but majority of them don't want their kid to die. They don't
Yeah.
want Shigaraki to grab them and they end up disappearing in like you said, becoming a jigsaw puzzle.
It's
They
straight.
ain't they ain't trying to do that, bro. They want their kid to succeed. So I can see exactly what they're talking about. Like, I don't want my kid to be in school. You know what I'm saying? Because the school might not be a great place to be at right now, you know?
Yeah.
And then, well, we, you know what? I know we're talking about that right quick, but let's talk about the whiplash in season 4 before we move on to season 5.
Okay.
The reason why I wanted to bring this up is because there was a bit of a tone shift between the beginning of season 4 and season 5. Um, in between, and the reason why I'm saying this is because remember, the Yakuza yeah and all that, but the festival. So the festival, very light moments, lighthearted. So it was kind of like a balance at the same time a tonal shift. So there was really dark theme stuff, obviously Eri being used and all that other stuff. That's a dark theme, and then you combine that with the festival. So now you have light and dark. Do you think that was a good balance, or do you think that they could have just kept it all dark toned and or light toned?
Mm-mm. You had to have some balance. Like At the end of the day, like it also depends on
where they're
yeah
at the season.
where they're at their
Well, we're
season.
at in the story, I should say, because
Yeah.
they can't have that balance later on because it's basically
Hmm.
the ending,
It's
not
the
the
ending.
ending, but like the last 2 or 3 seasons. What are the balance would you have? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you wouldn't have balance if it's all turmoil right now. Like it's
Facts.
going to
Yeah, the
crap.
whole city blow up, and hey guys, we're gonna have a festival.
Like no.
No, no, that's not happening.
But yeah, no, I thought it was a good choice.
Okay.
Um, my question for you, so you said there was a tonal shift,
Yeah, that's what I mean by the
right?
tonal shift.
Now, when we go into season five,
Correct.
believe season five, that's when you have not only the 1A and 1B,
The joint training,
the
yeah, the one
joint
that happens
training.
between those two classes, yeah.
Yeah, that joint training. Also, when was the Shiketsu High when they were going for their licenses and then
I think that was afterwards. It might have been in the process of happening, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong in the
I think that
comments if
happened
y'all know.
before 1A,
It
1B.
Oh yeah, it might have happened before the joint training. They might have did they introduce it?
Yeah, because they remember when they went, they
And Deku was with
huh?
Gran Torino.
No, no,
No, no,
no,
no, that
no.
wasn't yeah, no, no.
That
That
that's
was something
the,
else.
yeah, that's something else. That's their work study. I'm talking
Oh,
about
the work study.
when they get their hero licenses. When they
Oh,
had to go to
you know what it was? Wasn't it that they were because they were practically doing hero stuff, but they weren't supposed to because they're doing it illegally. So they were like,
yes,
"You guys need to get your license." And then they
yes,
okay, yeah, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
yes. That was definitely that, and it was the guy with the voice that was like, okay, so we're gonna start your training
Oh my
today,
God,
and
man. This
oh, we just need some new
guy.
heroes, as you could tell. Yeah, like
Bro's got a more monotone voice than me.
exactly.
God damn.
Um,
She was putting me to sleep.
he was putting me to sleep, but I was like, huh, sir, I need you to just like, you know,
Get to the point.
get to the point, man, and have some more emphasis. I need you to lock in. Um, but yeah, for sure, he was there doing their exam, and obviously they needed to do a lot of through their elimination process with the balls, and then also Himiko Toga stepping on the scene,
Mm,
trying to talk to Deku, and then we got even after that when it came to your boy with the wind power and Bakugo and also Shoto not getting their licenses because of the fact
hmm
that they well Bakugo was he this man can't control his temper
Can't
to
control
say
himself
shit.
at all.
And then Shoto and the wind guy just prioritizing their feud and him and Endeavor and such and just yeah they got out of control because you see eventually after that happens they go also to um when they go to get their licenses they had to persuade these kids in these classes that are
Yeah.
arrogant
hmm
and they start to realize wait a minute this was us
This was us back then.
this was us like not too long ago thinking that we're arrogant and that we're ready for this and we basically without any experience like oh we're going to be the top hero but you never understood you never laid the groundwork and the foundation and said hey I need to be able to appeal people I need to speak truth into them speak hope I need to be able to persuade them to do good because it's not just oh just using your quirk and saving people you got to be able to talk to people you got to have de-escalation techniques
hmm
you have to be able to get into people's minds and thoughts to get
That's
into their
that's why that joint
hearts
training was so important to me. I think it was super important, and it's probably that's probably the best training that they had in the entire show because of the fact that it was really realism in its entirety. You know, you're dealing with actual problems that you're going to face in society, not just villains. You're going to be dealing with other things as well. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be dealing with people suffering from injuries and buildings collapsing and what are you going to do when this person is about to get crushed and maybe they do get crushed but they you have to get them to a they had those like medical training units that you had to bring them to, right? So
mm-hmm.
all of that in and of itself combined with the joint training and the fact that they had to get their licenses, um it was it did exactly what it needed to do for the entirety of the show, which is basically them becoming heroes. You know what I'm saying? Like they had to go through these steps to become heroes. And to be fair, they weren't out of school yet, But it's almost like, being in school today, I guess, when you're in college. And let's say there are people out there who don't know what they want to do. I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I get it. But if you do know what you want to do, right, and you basically set the groundwork to succeed by putting yourself in internships, like they're,
Yeah.
yeah, and then you put yourself in um classes that train you in that specific situation that you will encounter in real life. That is what I would say next level training, and that's what they do. Legendary. I thought that the idea was cool. Just seeing it come to fruition was cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, but damn that class eight. I ain't gonna lie to you, and don't frame me in the comments for this, but
Wait.
I thought that the 1A versus 1B joint training, like I was okay with it here and there, but I was like, damn, when is this gonna end? I'm over here like watching. I'm
Mm.
like, so when are we gonna get to the good stuff? Y'all just spent this entire season, all of season four, not all of season four, almost all of season four, going wild and bonkers. Deku just literally used Eri as like a booster, and they literally destroyed the crap out of Overhaul. And now you have you had Endeavor had that fight with the Nomu. Shit was going down the end of season four, and we in season five. Just we're just taking our sweet time of training. I know they weren't taking their sweet time of training. I know that that's important. It's important, but I was like, I don't know, man. I was just like, can we, can we, can we make this any faster?
I mean, it's true, but I mean, I guess in a way, it was a pivotal moment because
Yeah, it's
also,
pivotal. Yeah, it's
like,
pivotal. That's just me. That's me. Just me. Yeah.
yeah, one, you have Shinzo finally coming to the, well, not coming to, but he had to, you know,
He subs in. He joins Class A.
subs and joins Class A and Class B for a couple of rounds so that he can get into the hero course.
Spoiler: he does end up in Class A, but
That's my dog. And eventually, we also got to see Black Whip for the first time
mm-hmm.
being used and getting out of control. And we also got to see Ochako, you know, spring into, Deku, basically saying, yo, calm down. Consistently always thinking of others, which I actually
Which is
absolutely enjoy.
literally, she is like out of everybody in My Hero, she is best girl. There are people, who will be like, but what about Toga?
Nah,
Nah, if you really look at it,
nah.
no, Chalk from the start, from the jump, Chaco is the one, bro. She is the one. Like there's just how Hinata was the one. That Ochako, she is the Hinata of My Hero. Like there's just no beating it. You just sorry. She's like I could see the flaws here and there, but now she's winning. Now Toga, I could see where people might argue because of everything that she's been through, which is another thing we got to talk about. Everything that she had to go through and all that suffering and just her trying to um I'm trying to word it properly. Like her and her experiences in everyday life was shunned because of the fact of how she was treated differently because she was different. She is different.
Yes.
But Otaku was the one who kind of like reached out to her.
I mean, she's the one that actually tried to look at her like a human being, besides just solely, you know, just some villain that's, run of the mill villain. Now, initially, she did say something that obviously shook her, where she was like, if you do something so bad, then you deserve what's coming to you. And that's not what she needed to hear at that moment. She needed to hear, listen, I get your frustrations and I understand that you are dealing with a lot of, backlash from society because you like blood. You like sucking the blood out of a lot of things.
Pause.
Major pause. Anyway, um, however, I don't think at that moment, I don't think she was prepared to have that conversation because she didn't know this was on her mind. She was just thinking she's just doing this for the love of the game. But I feel like at the end of the time, I say at that point, she's just doing this because of, unfortunately, everyone rejected her. The world rejected her, so she rejected it. That's why she joined the League of Villains, thinking that she had a home. That's why you had twice with her, talking to her consistently, making sure she's good, checked up on, and she did vice versa. Vice versa.
Twice the goat.
Twice, I'm not gonna lie. That's my dog.
Twice the dog.
That's my dog. I don't even care. If he did some villainous shit, okay, I get you. But he ride or die. He ride or die for everyone. So I gotta respect it.
I and this is part of season five's the remember how I said uh I think we spoke about this maybe a couple weeks ago or it was a couple months ago. And if y'all don't know, there are some I won't say key differences between the manga and the anime because the anime I think actually does a better job with pacing when it comes to just the source material. But there were like I think it's one major change that they made within My Hero manga translation to anime is that the arcs were switched up a little bit in terms of the um I believe it's the villain arc. You know that my villain academia arc that they had where they literally even the opening had it.
Oh,
You
you
remember
mean
that section? There's that part and then there's the Endeavor's agency part and then there's the joint training. So the joint training I think was it's always supposed to be at that point, but there were specific portions of the show that had they changed the way it was aligned, I think to adjust to either one of the movies that were coming out or
oh, okay.
they were just trying to make some changes regarding that. And I think that ruined some of the build up that it had going forth because the manga had the build up after that point and I didn't read the manga, but I heard from friends that the manga had to build up after that point because of the My Villain Academia part where they were sort of having their own arcs that led up to the villainry that's supposed to happen throughout the rest of the show, which is which I think is the truth because when I was in the My Villain arc, you know, I'm seeing these villains for you're seeing them for more than what they were. You know, you're talking about Toga and everything that she went through. We talk about twice. We get to see Spinner and everything that he's dealing with his people and all that. And uh, there's the what villain am I missing?
Hmm?
I'm missing a villain. I don't even know what villain I'm missing right now.
Oh, you talking about? Well, I mean, even before that, you had the one with the that had magnetism, but then got absolutely clapped in
Oh,
season four. We got absolutely
bro got dogged.
yo. Like when I say you got windshield wiped, you got windshield wiped. That your whole entire body was like wheat, like some snow.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
But I do think that that whole entire like section there when I did some research as well for a couple months ago when I told you it was a little bit different than the manga in terms of the way that they placed those arcs and it made it a little bit different in terms of tonal field because the villain arc you sort of just ride that momentum throughout the rest of the show in the manga but the anime
Hmm.
you know you do ride it but there's a little bit of an interruption
Yeah.
like not everything's where it's supposed to be but I didn't experience the manga so I can't really comment on it. I'm just speaking from what I heard online and what I'm hearing, what I heard from my friends. But honestly, I thought that it was a pretty killer season. Even just getting to dive into the villains arcs. I don't know if you agree with me, but I thought they were pretty good.
Yeah, they were pretty good because you had Compress, you had Spinner, you had Himiko Toga, you had Dobby, you had I mean Shigaraki as well. So and then obviously Magia at that point eventually,
Yeah,
but
eventually.
Gigantomachia.
Gigantomachia.
And then
Gigantomachia.
you
I
had the
stopped.
doctor that was just sitting there just like fiending like yo
This
yo
doctor, brother, I was
no
like, I gotta revive all of them.
I gotta revive everyone. I gotta use all these nobles, my creations.
My
Don't destroy them.
creations.
But like, regardless, it was consistently you got to see the development of their ideals and what they wanted to form, what they wanted to express to the world.
Yeah.
Um, you,
Ultimately, an act of expression. Yeah.
yeah. So with Spinner, you got to see is he really going to be about this? Is he going to commit? So he committed to Shigaraki and his vision, what he wanted, and he realized later on that he was a little too deep. Not
Just a little too deep.
just a little too deep. You had Himiko Toga. She was trying to figure out, yeah, how do I properly express the fact that I love these people, or like, I want to get to know these people, and hopefully she doesn't feel rejection by them. And that was like, oh, I love Izuku Midoriya and Ochako, and that was probably because of the fact that they looked at her as a villain, but did not think she was like ultimately pure evil. Like Deku, he gonna try to save whoever he can fucking
Yep,
save, regardless.
he gonna save you.
He gonna try to save
You could be a villain. He gonna save you. He been trying to save Shigaraki this entire goddamn show. like,
the
like,
entire show.
even to the end, he does not stop until he saves Shigaraki. And obviously, Shigaraki dies. We can talk about that, yes. But did he truly save him? And I think the answer to that question is yes, because at the end of the day, he was taken over by All for One.
Mm-hmm.
And while part of that is Midoriya's fault, why he got taken over, um, still Midoriya and everybody else, but mainly Midoriya, helped get him out of there, helped free his soul almost.
Yes.
You know, um, how do you feel about? I mean, I know that we're running on time here, but how do you feel about the fight between Toga and Ochako?
Mm. That fight was the culmination of a lot of built up frustration and misunderstandings between the two. And it definitely was something that sucked because of actually the news station running out of footage at that moment. So
Yeah, stuff
she
happened after that, bro.
stuff happened after that, and Oshaka was actually handling that guilt. I'm glad you brought this up because that was one of the fights I wanted to mention because she had that guilt stored up in her, and later on, they talked about it,
hmm
and that's the one thing that a lot of times she mentioned is being able to bring everyone happiness and smiles. But what about the heroes that when they go through trials and tribulations, when they deal with mental illness and frustrations, when they have to deal with backlash and criticism consistently, what about their smiles? What about what they had to go through?
Correct.
Who's there to be with them? So we see Deku was automatically with her, trying to console her and listen.
And
And
bro, that bro came out of nowhere. He's like, Ochako, you okay? Bro,
yeah,
how'd you know where I was?
I know.
But I know, I know. I like you, bro. No, let me stop.
Yeah.
The fact that he pulled up there and was basically a support system for her, and through him, extension to the rest of the classmates showing up, they are her support system. So many messages were basically given from that one moment. It's like, as you say, the mental health of heroes. That's why I love the epilogue so much. Believe it or not, there's two episodes
Yes.
because everything finishes in like episode I think it's 8 or 9, and then there's 11 episodes in that final chapter, final section. So there's two episodes where you get to explore everything that happens in the finale, in the epilogue, and what happened after the big fight, which
Yes.
I think they need it. You can't end an anime like this, especially with so many different characters, when you don't get to see what happens to them next.
Yes, you don't get to see it. Okay, did they fulfill their dreams? What did they do? What happens within the future? Because you want to see that they one got to their end goal and also two that they're striving for more. That's the ultimate goal that you want to see when it comes to a lot of these animes, especially these shonen ones specifically. Because you want to give them a happy ending, but you also want to see um that they took that goal and then they ran with it.
Correct.
100%. You have to see that. I brought up a couple of notes that I wanted to mention
Mm,
because think about it. We have like Ochaka's killed from thinking that she killed Himiko Toka.
yep.
You had Todoroki's family.
Yep, Todoroki's family and everything that happened where there, his fight with his brother and feeling. I mean, I'd argue that he wasn't really feeling too guilty, not in comparison to Ochaku, right? But in terms of just the family in of itself and the turmoil that they were dealing with, it was really heavy on Todoroki, like really heavy. And you see that when he has that fight with Dabi as well, like it all culminates to this
Mm,
single point. And after that fight, that's when it's like
mhm.
it's finally over. You know what I'm saying? And not just that, but the relationship between him and his dad improve. Stuff like that. Like everything seems to be culminating to a point, but it's also sad. It's also depressing.
Yeah, you mean even with the fight with Dobby and Endeavor, you see the whole family chimes in. It's just like,
hmm
yo, let me go ahead and help out to the point where they get burns.
Get burns.
So now they're like, listen, we're all scarred because we've all burned each other. Unfortunately, we have all burned and hurt each other. Honestly, the only
That's
person
deep. That's deep right there. But
I'm
that's big
on
brain.
one,
You
bro.
on it.
I'm on ever since. Listen. It's not about the scars. It's not about the. Well, I mean, yes, they do mean something. It's about the difference that you make. The difference that you make. I'm talking about J. Cole. Yeah, I'm talking about J.
You
Cole,
talk about J.
bro.
Cole's new album.
Yes,
It's
I
crazy.
said
I
it.
still haven't even listened to it yet, bro. Let me. I have to listen to it tomorrow. Let me get to that.
Ah,
Let me
damn.
get to that. But yeah. Damn. We were jumping around. I know, but
Yeah.
uh, that fight. Uh, not even the fight, but remember how Shigaraki was basically not ready yet. Like he wasn't supposed to get woken up, and then to break him out, he's like just literally destroys the entire city
Yeah.
just by coming out. Like, what are you doing, bro? I thought, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. That moment was the biggest what the fuck moment for me because I'm over here like,
Uh-huh.
so is this legal?
It's
Are we? Is this allowed to happen in this show? Like, this bro literally murdered all the heroes that were nearby, almost all the heroes that were nearby, plus everybody in that practically almost. No, I think people got saved. People got saved,
people got saved, but
but
also
like,
look at the
look at
the destruction.
the
You
destruction.
you had Shield
Ridiculous.
Hero that got absolutely evaporated. I was like, yo, no way,
No.
no way that Shield Hero, what was it, crust, got absolutely. He's just like thumbs up while also getting crumbled to pieces. I'm like, dog, I didn't think he was gonna die that
I didn't.
quickly. Like
I
he
didn't
just
think
got
either.
introduced.
He just got there. I did not think it was gonna get clapped like that.
Oh my lord, it was insane. Same thing with Midnight. Like that was crazy.
And then just watching
Even Majestic too. Same thing.
watching what's her name? Bunny Girl.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Watching Mirko, right?
Miracle.
Watching Mirko fighting with like her all, literally putting every single ounce of energy into the fight. Like she was fight. She didn't care if she died, bro. She was going all in. Body parts gone. I don't give a fuck. She was clapping.
She's like, oh, my arm's off. No, shoot. Now I'm gonna continue this motion. You ain't stopping my motion, bro.
You ain't stopping my motion. I
Get the
don't
fuck
care,
out of here, man.
bro. Oh my gosh. She's got to be one of the coldest villains. I'm not villains, coldest heroes of like the entire show. Just the fact that you even continue after losing a limb like that. Damn.
That's mind over matter all the time.
Absolutely. But and then seeing everybody else step up and still they're dealing with the struggle. Mirio, and having his fight and everything like that. Everything that transpired between that point and the end of the show was just back to back destruction. Like Midoriya going into the dark mode, dark mode, which I believe is in season. Uh, was it season 6 or season 7? I think it was
I think it was 6 because it was at the end.
the
Yeah,
end of 6.
I think it was at the end of 6 because either no. Oh, what?
Yeah, it's in the 6 because remember the
I'm trying to remember
that
because
whole thing with Shigaraki wasn't 6. It wasn't until after that incident that they end up getting locked, not locked, but getting put into UA, and they're all there.
oh yeah, after that incident. Okay, I
Yeah,
think it's
it's pretty
6
sure it's after
because
that incident.
you got them getting locked in, then you had him fighting, all these different villains, and then you
Yeah,
had Lady in the Gaunt coming
Lady in the Gaunt
when they broke from
broke out from
Tartarus,
prison.
broke out from prison. All for One comes back. You had also Stain escaping, and then also Chisaki as by
Hmm.
muscular such and such. But man handled it like it was nothing. Just like, all right, okay, I know what I need to do. He just did it and was just like, nah,
Bro
fuck.
just did it.
Then his class eventually, persuaded him, and yeah, got back inside.
I think that was like a very interesting moment for him, like almost a Spider-Man 2 development esque
Mm.
zone where he's isolating himself because he knows the danger that he brings to the table, and he wants to do everything himself, and he learns, and this also he can be saved too. he can be, he has team members he can rely on, and he realizes that when it's basically him versus all, which I thought was crazy. The fight that he had, it was basically him fighting his classmates, and he was dogging them, but obviously, didn't really last too long. But if he really wanted to, he could dog him. Like if it was him versus the rest of the classmates, and Bakugo didn't have his crazy feat yet, I think he would have won. I think he would. He wasn't even going that hard because it's his classmates. Why would he go that hard on his classmates? He wouldn't.
Yeah, that is true. He wasn't really going, full out, but also he didn't also have the. I think he probably, because of the situation, and then even though he had multiple quirks,
Mhm.
I feel like at one point he would maybe maybe not run out of juice, but just be overwhelmed in terms of using all these at the same
At
time
the same
because
time,
he was still getting used to it. It wasn't always, okay, you're able to use everything. Not to mention, he didn't have gear shift yet,
and he didn't have any rest.
and he didn't have any rest.
Bro was not resting at all. He was just out there doing his thing.
Yeah.
Bro, even All Might was like, "So you gonna you gonna sleep? Like, you gonna
Like,
take a nap?
you gonna eat? You gonna do nothing? Like, nah, you just,
Oh,
I'm off of the way. I'm like, bro, you just fought Muscular. What are you doing?
what are you doing?"
You just fought up another villain and wasted him like 1 second.
Yeah, I well, since we are pretty much running out of time here, let's end it with, I'm gonna ask you two questions. The first, well, first of all, before I even ask those two questions, Bakugo, bro, Bakugo was cooking. When I tell you, bro, when he basically peaked fighting All for One,
That was some shit.
that was
That was some.
I was looking at the hand, I was like,
I was like,
what?
I was like, yo,
I was
what?
like, Bakugo
And then him explaining this.
explaining what was happening,
I was like,
I was like, yo. And bro was, I don't think people understand how crazy Bakugo was going. Bakugo was fighting All for One, and he was injured. Like he just, what's his name? Edge Shot just finished repairing his body after he got clapped and got basically donuted.
Mhm.
He's over here still fight. We thought he was. I thought he was dead. I thought he was dead for a second. I was like, yo,
He almost got donuted. He didn't get fully because
no, he didn't get fully.
through and through.
Yeah, he didn't get fully donuted. But I thought he was dead
Mm.
because they said his heart stopped. They said they weren't going to save him, but he was trying to save him. And I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it cut out. I don't even know if we actually get to see him breathe.
We didn't get to. I don't think we got to see him breathe. We got because he appeared out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
We're just like, dog.
I'm like, Bakugo,
how are you alive?
How
are you alive?
That's what
dog?
I'm saying. Like, Bakugo, how did we even get here, bro? And the fact that he like literally came from where he was before and zoomed across the map like he's a jet plane.
Like,
I'm like, dog.
nah, because now that you mentioned it, I want to get back to it, but you have the fight with Todoroki and Dabi, right?
Which was crazy.
Which was
I thought it was a
crazy.
really great fight.
Really good fight. And then when they zoomed the fighter jet,
The fighter jet
Yo.
was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
yo,
The animation,
absolutely.
and he was using his ice to cool his. I was like, yo, this
I'm
can't
sorry,
get any
huh?
better.
And I'm gonna get it even more into it because I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, another example. Higakure deflecting that big giant ass beam when they fought All for One. Extra crazy.
And it, well, just the fact that you even get to see her was cool.
Mhm.
Because you see her, you're like, oh wow, this is what she looks like. This is pretty dope. But then she reflects the entire beam, bro. The whole beam.
The whole beam. That was a fat one. That was a fat one.
That would have dusted anybody else.
Yeah, that would have dusted everyone. I got another one. You have. Oh wait, I just want to talk about attacks. Earphone jack. Plugging in with Mike.
Plugging in with Mike, and they did that amplifier.
Yeah,
that was crazy. I was like,
hold on
a second, because after they did it, you see what happened to the ground. You see what everything. You're like, whoa, buddy.
That's what I'm saying. Well, did I miss anyone? Never stepping up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There was another combination I honestly forgot. I mean, you had the one that was with Tentacle and with Asui as
Yeah, when
well.
they
Yeah, when they pulled up,
pulled Midori out the way.
and then you had others being utilized, but it was that was listen, the fire jet was crazy, and then we get with Bakugo. Bakugo just I'm sorry,
Bakugo, yeah, I'm sorry, but like he did a lot.
you
I
got it, bro.
you can take the trophy, bro. Just take the trophy because he
Just
was
take the
doing
trophy.
so much. And the thing that I love about Baku is that in the epilogue when he's like his arm is practically gone, but he's gonna rehab, of course. He's gonna get things going. But he goes to see Midoriya and he finds out that Midoriya is not gonna have his quirk anymore. He's gonna be quirkless. You see the immediate depression on his face. You see it's instant. He's like, because that is his best friend. That is the one that he was going to compete with for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
They were gonna be at odds with each other, be try to become the best hero ever, basically.
Mhm.
And it just didn't happen. So when we do reach the end, right? When they finally in the epilogue they give Midoriya basically the technology. All Might's like, this is the tech that they were using that I used, and they basically advanced it. Here you go. And he took it and he put it on and he joins the heroes. You're like, I know Bakugo in that moment was probably the happiest guy because he's like, finally, I have somebody. I have Midoriya back. I can compete with him again. It is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It was for me. It was a heartfelt moment.
It was.
I feel like that was probably the one of the best moments of the show. That and just seeing him and his face after he got the equipment. Because first of all, nah, f that McDonald's Midoriya. We ain't with that.
We
Nah,
ain't with
we
that,
ain't
bro.
with that. No, give him a suit. Let him be Iron Midoriya. Let him be Iron Deku. Iron Deku kind of goes hard. I ain't gonna lie
Hmm.
to you, but let him be Iron Deku and save some people.
I'm sorry, but like, listen, he was clean. He was clean with that suit on. I'm not gonna lie
He,
with you.
to be fair, Iron All Might was also kind of clean. Like when he had that shit on, he had that shit on, and
Hmm.
then his smile, I'm like, yo,
Yo,
this kind of goes hard.
not gonna
But
lie.
yeah, man. So back to the last two questions that I was gonna ask you. I know that we're definitely over, but the first one would be, do you feel that the anime wrapped up nicely everybody's sort of story?
Absolutely, 100%. You even got to see within the credits what they specifically uh did. Like we saw, okay, agencies with sorry, earphone jack, and then with your boy Kaminari.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Kaminari. They were right next to each other. You know, and then also handling music. You had um Mina, and then also Red Riot. You know, they were both still teaming up, and they were also uh he was doing hero work and inspiring men, and then you had Mina who was doing hero work and also still dancing. Like you,
Mm-hmm.
each and every one of them. That's just a few examples, but like each and every one of them did what they wanted to do and what they enjoyed on the side while also doing hero work, and we got to see them grow not just as a hero but as a person.
Damn right.
This is what I'm talking about when I see good writing and characters. This is what I mean. You want to see them go through trials and tribulations, but you also want to see them express their hobbies along with their profession and culminate it into a big giant sandwich for us to eat.
Honestly, that goes hard.
Come on, man. J. Cole, you inspired me, but no, J. Cole, you.
J.
No, I was
Cole was
joking. I was
crazy.
joking.
No,
I was joking.
I think you're correct. And the last question that I will ask you, do you think that do you think that My Hero will come back in the future in some way, shape, or form? I know they had the Vigilante series, yes, which I still have not watched, but obviously that happens before everything. But do you think that My Hero will come back and it will be surrounding the story of them, like an epilogue? Now, obviously, it wouldn't be anywhere near as big as what happened recently with that season with that run, but they could technically, if they really wanted to, do like either a movie or a special or something where they get to explore the lives of Class 1A.
I wouldn't mind them doing a wouldn't mind them doing a special or like a movie to not wrap up, but more of just to tap into their lives, everyday lives or such, and then maybe all of them come together again and handle a situation. You see how they've improved
Hmm.
as
Yeah.
the years go by. I wouldn't mind that. That would be cool.
Okay. No, I'm with that. I'm with that too. I also agree. I think that that would pretty be. I'd be interested in seeing that. Like, you know how like stories end and they end on a good note, but you still want to kind of know what happens after. You know,
Yeah,
I think that's just how I feel personally with a lot of stories that I've read and a lot of movies that I've watched. Lord of the Rings, what happens at this era? Star Wars, what happens after this? Obviously, there's stories written, but still, you know, um, and just anime.
yeah. I would say this is wrapped up, and if you keep it wrapped up, I won't complain.
I'm okay with it.
I'm
It can be
okay.
wrapped up. And the fact that they're even doing Vigilante, I was like. I'll watch it, but like it's not gonna intrigue me as much at personally for me as much as all the characters that I fell in love with when I first started watching the show.
Mm.
So, but yeah, this has been a long episode, guys. Thank you for listening. If you had been listening this entire time, appreciate you. Really appreciate you. Like and subscribe, please, and only if you liked it. By the way, don't do it if you didn't like it. Um, but uh, we will see you on the next episode of Anime Intervention. We out. Deuces.